Hello and welcome to another Daily Academy podcast. This is the final chapter of the Advanced Bankroll Management, Chapter 6. This is where you bring it all together. And Chris, obviously being the author here at Space Jam 23 DFS, he's going to give you the rundown. So I'm going to hand over the reins to you. Let us know what we're looking back on and all the things important things for us to remember from this series.
Yeah, so first and foremost, let me just say this, my first series. He said the author, Space Jam 23 DFS. I don't like that. Anyone looking at this, reading this article, I'd like you to send tweets to that with a suggested new pen name for me to write future articles. I'll give you a free bankroll lesson for the winner. Go ahead, do that. But yeah, so this article, it's kind of a summary of what we talked about in all the other articles. It's not meant to be used as a substitute to read everything else. Don't be lazy. Get out your notebook, get out your reading glasses and read. You know, it's great for summaries are great, but they're there because it's a summary. It doesn't give you everything. That's exactly what this article is. Essentially what this does is we're going to talk about Chapter 1, Understanding Your Business. You read this article. It tells you all about your ROI, each game, how you can improve it, why your ROI is this, why your ROI is that. Essentially, it's data mining everything you have with your games. You know, that's super important. Most people can't tell you your ROI at each individual game. This chapter gets you there. Chapter 2 is called Step Into My Office. Essentially, that is, we look at your numbers and we build something specific for you. You know, however this might be, it's based on your stats, your metrics, everything related to you. Chapter 3, we talk about paying yourself. How do you grow your bankroll and your bank account? Everyone hits a big score, they cash out, they find themselves bust, they're playing $3 games and they had a 20K bankroll a week ago. What do we do different? So this article talks about your relative ROI compared to how much you should be cashing out weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, however you want it. And it teaches you also how to set goals that are realistic and attainable. And Chapter 4 summary is about qualifiers. So everyone wants to win $1 million, but not everyone is in the position to do that with their bankroll. So we talk about how you can use qualifier strategy to get into these games. When I mean qualifier strategy, I don't mean what daily fantasy players to select. I mean what type of, how you're going to build that strategy so you can buy into these games. Chapter 5, we talk about risk. And this is the final chapter. Essentially, what is risk and how it affects your bankroll. Risk from injuries, risk from weather, risk from you're playing with athletes, high contact sports, impact sports, tweak an ankle. That's all risk. We talk about risk. I tell you how to minimize it, how to maximize it, how to gain exposure to it, how to limit exposure, how to use it in your advantage, and also talk about the effect it has on your bankroll. The riskier you are, the ill effect it can have on your bankroll if you're playing it in the wrong games. So, you know, those are your chapters. We kind of walk you through what needs to happen with your bankroll and how you're going to essentially make more money doing it. Remember, bankroll management's a working tool. You might have a 25% ROI in head-to-head last year, and if you're running off that number and your ROI is 10% this year, you're going to see a significant flaw in your quote-unquote portfolio. So that's one of my key points is make sure you're tracking your information. You know, using this summary right here, Chapter 6, to look back and say, what did I do then? What am I doing now? And how do I adjust? You know, if there's a scratch or if there's an injury in NBA and James Harden is sitting, or, you know, play Dwight Howard, play Terrence Jones. If your bankroll is at 10% ROI in head-to-head and you're down to 3%, you've got to adjust the same way. That's where your edge comes, adjusting and adjusting to the most recent information. Most recent information is by tracking. Track, file this article, and build your bankroll.
Yeah, so it sounds like just use this as your guide to find the things you need to work on and go ahead and look back through those. With that, we are all done here. Find us on Twitter at DF Cafe. He is at SpaceJam23DFS, and we'll see you next time.